Welcome, everyone, to our meeting of the minds with Factual, Actual, and a Better Way Fellowship, where today we have a special guest that has a story to tell that we can't wait to hear. And I am excited beyond belief. But I'm gonna let Baba introduce that. But I want you to know that we have ways that we can combine a healthy mind with a healthy body to create this righteous soul, which our Creator resonates with. And that is what we're going to do today.
That's it,
Take it
son.
away.
That's it, son. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to um, help people feel better
Right.
under whatever circumstances that they find themselves. And my guest today is Brother Wayne Connor from right here in Denton, Texas. Uh,
Good evening.
you doing okay, Brother Wayne?
Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored, Pete. I'm just hanging in there and rolling as it goes.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about Brother Wayne. He and I met in ministry together. We had a little startup work that we did that went on to do really really well. And Brother Wayne was one of the ministers that we had on staff. And this brother has a powerful testimony, excellent singing voice, uh, just an
God
inspiration
for
to
that.
everybody around him because the adversity that he has persevered through as and to become the success and the man he is today and his beautiful family. You know, the odds were against him, but he didn't listen to other people's odds. He went by what he felt the creator told him. And that's what we are here to talk about today. What advice we can get from Brother Wayne to help all of us be better people. And I am very proud when he accepted our invitation to come on our broadcast. And we thank him deeply.
Delight.
Dwayne, this is my son, Dwayne Jr., all the way in Germany, Europe. Uh,
Pleasure to meet you there, Junior.
Well, thank you. I'm senior around here, but I'm junior when I'm on the
Okay.
cast. Yes. you
On
know,
the all
but
right, all right.
respect. I have been waiting for this for a minute because this is a story that I've seen on this television and I've heard about that. I mean, to meet somebody that has this story to tell, you know what I'm saying? Is
Hmm.
I am I'm almost speechless, and I'm somebody that has a lot of words. Everybody knows I can talk forever. So
Yeah.
when I run out of words, man, that means that it's something near and dear. And we're talking about our people, and we're talking about the injustices of that. And
Yeah.
with that, we also have knowledge because we have somebody that has persevered and has overcame the system and is doing well. So when we get something like this, I'm over here getting goosebumps because we have a success
Yeah.
story. When there's so much failures on the news, on the media and everything, and I can have somebody on my podcast with a success. So I mean, please, Baba, lead the way. I can't wait.
all right, let's get going. I've got some numbers that I've been looking up, and
Uh-huh.
uh, looking at this program is all about social justice. And don't want to make anybody better than anybody else. That's not what we're trying to do. But we believe that everybody should have a fair shake. But that's just not the way the world is.
Right.
Uh, those of us that have reached a level of peace of mind, we had to use a method. And we are here to explore your
Right.
method today, Brother Wayne, given your circumstances. And we're going to let everybody know Brother Wayne is on the show to talk about incarceration, especially for an individual that has pigment and that has been melanated, and how unjust society is to us, even in the criminal justice system. And I was looking at some numbers, and you know, the media spins things to advocate a certain cause or a certain position. Well, that's not always fair to us. In fact, most of the time it's not. And we are the pawns, those of us that are not in a certain socioeconomic position. We are the pawns in their game. And people of wealth don't have any of the troubles that we have. And though they want us to believe that uh, their struggles are the same, and they're just not the same. A fool could see that.
Of course not.
So I was looking at some numbers today. There are roughly 329 people in prison in the U.S. 329,000 people in prison in this country, which is outlandish compared to those people in prison in other parts of the world. We are the most incarcerated nation on the face of the planet. And, you know, this is something we should talk about, you know, in our community. And we should not let politicians or newscasters tell our story when we are living it and we know it personally. So setting the stage with that, we are interested in what you have to say about this system. Now, of the 300, I take that back. The number of people in prison may be wrong. I may be getting my figures mixed up. But what I do know is 58,000 people in prisons are Black.
Right.
And on our population.
Pops, hold on, Pops. Let me slow you down. Hold on. We can't go that way. It's so far gone. You no. Okay. So I just looked it up, and 1.3 million people are in prison.
Right.
And it would be more like 300, you know, like 580,000. You off by a whole zero in this thing, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? It's 1.3 million people in prison as of 2020, and we looking more like over half a million are Black. Is actually more, and that's far more substantial than, you know, 58,000. So I do want to stress it's ludicrous. Yeah.
I stand corrected because I was trying to crunch those numbers and it was just mind boggling, and I started crossing things up. So I stand corrected. And almost one half of those people are Black, even though we're only 13% of the population. So, and I take it the majority of those are drug offenses, right?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that either. What's your take? I'll tell you. You got the facts because you was there and you know, Brother Wayne. But I'm gonna just throw out the numbers that I researched, and the one that I saw the most was actually unable to pay fines. It's actually like not whatever it was. It was just because you didn't have the money to get out of jail and you were stuck in there. It's actually why most people are in prison, whether it be drug or one of the big ones is child support. So you can't play your
Right.
child support, and next thing you know, you in
You in
jail.
jail. Yeah.
And I don't know how you could pay your child support in jail. Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, especially when you you know, a good lump sum behind, you know.
Yeah, one
That's
good
that's
year for
kind of
it. What? Look, Brother Wayne, we just said in our podcast last week, we were discussing that we already living check to check.
yeah.
So how you gonna come up with a year worth of back child support if you don't even know
I
how you
mean,
could eat next week if you don't get paid? That's crazy.
right. They basically asking you to get that water out of that turnip, and it ain't gonna release none.
It
Okay,
ain't none.
it's impossible. It's
So,
impossible when you're already on a scale to where everything fitting where it's supposed to fit, and then you have something else out of the ordinary to show up. You know, that's gonna cause a stumbling block and stall out in your routine or your rotation that you got going as far as taking care of everything you need to take care of. You know, when you got
yeah.
that other individual part that's coming in and taking part of what you already got set to be handled, you know, yeah, of course it's gonna cause an issue.
Well, let's
So
let's 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 go there then, Brother
so
Wayne. How old were you when you had to go to prison?
My first altercation with uh incarceration was in 19 I was 21, I guess 1991. 1991 was my first experience with being incarcerated in the state prison. And uh my reason in being in that situation at that time was because I was trying to do what other guys do as far as being on the corner or whatever you to uh put more money in my pocket when at the time I was working two jobs already and didn't need to, but just trying to fit in with the crowd outside of my responsibility. And it wasn't mixing. And steady trying to force that issue to fit in caused me a lot of heartache and pain and dismissal from my family because I had to take that trip down the road because I had actually sold to an undercover agent, you know, and it wasn't much. It was probably maybe a dime or 20 rock, or as they say, you know. But at the time here in Texas, you know, they was kind of skinning you up for that little bit, you know. But yeah, I did go and do a year and 2 months on that trip, and in the process of that first round down there, I had quite a few experiences, and you know, it's open for whatever questions y'all need to ask or whatever. You know, it's open, and I can explain and give it to you in depth the best of my knowledge of remembering it.
So, how many times did you go?
91 was the first trip, as I said. I did a little over a year and 2 months. I got out just before Christmas in '92. I got out just before Christmas, the 23rd of December. And once I got back, it was a whole lot of things going on when I left going to third I do to the state of I and come back and realize that, you know, two or three of my other siblings was going through the same thing that I just went through. And touching down from experiencing that, you know, I tried to redirect the path by explaining to them my situation while doing my time of uh, being bad out in society or whatever they want to label that as. But yeah,
well,
I come out and there was a few others that was, you know, I didn't feel okay with doing what I done to get me in the tank. So I was trying to explain to them the reason why it's not good to do that. because it leaves you one or two things, your uh years or decades from your family members that you love, or you're gonna end up somewhere and ain't nobody know where you at, you know. So I just
Hey,
try to keep them on the correct path of being mindful of how bad that situation is, which is easy to get in. And boy, look here, I tell you, it takes the world to get out of it.
So I take it you went back.
I went back in 90, I went back 10 months later, for doing the same stuff, but this time it was a little more added to that. I was involved in another altercation where I had took a couple of people to Walmart, and at that time I was already a parole violator, running and looking over my shoulder and wondering who this is behind me, But yeah, I did. I went and took a couple people to Walmart, and I was told, well, give us like 20 minutes, Dwayne, and we're going to be right out. So here it is. I'm sitting there, Brother Peter. I'm just sitting there and I'm waiting, and, you know, 5 minutes, 10 at the max, I know whatever they was going to get, they should have been already out of the store. So I'm putting my thoughts together. I'm getting nervous and I'm wondering what's going on, and uh, who may be done apprehended or took somebody or what. So I had to go in the store there just to look around and see what was going on. So I go in the store door there, and then right here to my left, about I guess a quarter way to the left into the middle of the store there was a security guard had one of the people that I had brought to the store. So I'm wondering what can I do to help them get away, although I know it's not the right thing to do, but just me being a sensitive person that I am, even in altercations, I'm gonna still try to figure the best route and possibly even put myself in a situation in order for that other individual to be able to move around, because at the time I was already violated parolee, I'm going back anyway. These are the things that was going through my head at the time. So, uh really my mind is really thinking, add more to the fire, which sounds crazy, but in the altercation like that, you're just speaking at rapid rate. So you're going with the first thing top of your mind, whether it's good or bad. You know what I mean? So in that, I they got away. I helped them get out, and here I am. I'm caught up in the store, and both of the people that they was wanting is gone. I ain't had nothing to do with it. But considering that they were with me, I'm trying to be protective of the people that I done hauled to the store, and unrealized that the ones that I did haul to the store was putting me in more situations that I was already in, you know, and it was unaware. So now I'm caught up in this here. Get them out. Now here I am running out the back of the store through the salad port, and before I get there, here's this giant Caucasian guy, brother. I guess he was about 255, 260. Here I am, about a buck 45. I said, Lord have mercy. Hey, if they poured a bucket of water on me, I still would have been heavy enough to handle. So, my first thought in the act was, to pull the blade I had in my pocket, see? So I pulled a knife out, but he at the time was coming toward me with probably like a pole was probably like 25 or 30 feet long, with pretty good distance from me, you know. So I'm trying to go out the back. He say, sir, we're gonna need you to hold up over there for a minute. You know, we suspect you got merchandise that belongs to the store. I said, sir, I don't mean no harm or no disrespect. I said, but I don't have any merchandise that belongs to y'all store. I said the merchandise that you're looking for is probably already gone, considering I called all the altercation, everything in the store because I thought somebody was trying to apprehend the people that I was with. So he said, no, we're just gonna have to hold you up until the police come. So now I'm like, I'm going to jail anyway if I stay. So if I go, it can't be that much more worse. So I told the man, Brother Pete, I said, well, say, look here, I'm gonna tell you one time and I ain't gonna ask you no more. And I'm gonna leave your guts hanging out right here.
Oh, brother.
I said, you need to move back and get out of my way and let me go on by my business because I don't have none of your merchandise. People you're looking for is probably gone already, you know. So he said, no, no, no. So I'm walking out the door there, and I had popped my knife open. So by the time I got to the door, the spot that I needed to get before I popped the knife, he was coming behind me. Now I popped the knife by the time I stepped out the door, Brother Pete, and I told him, I said, if you run up on me, I said, this is where they're going to pick you up at. And then I run on to the car. Yeah, I jumped in the car, and one of the people that I took with me to the Walmart went on their way, and the other person stayed. They was in the car waiting on me, so we jumped in the car, and here I am on 35, Pete, coming back around toward the QT on 3 University. High speed chase with the police, Pete. High speed chase. Headline news and everything. My mama thought I was going crazy.
It was just getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, it was getting worse and worse, and by the time I realized the act that I was really involved with, Pete, I'm like, man, this kind of stuff here is what was watched and saw in the movies on the TV, and here I am involved in some of the same likewise stuff. These folks probably gonna kill me when they catch up with me on spot, you know. So, Brother Pete, I probably was I was probably under the little influence of crack cocaine at the time, you know, and at that point I really wasn't in the right mind, Pete. I didn't care what happened, whether I was alive or dead. That's how bad it was for me, you know. But they finally caught up with me, and when I pulled over, man, I'm talking about cars from everywhere, Pete. I'm talking about jumping out. I'm talking about all kind of guns. I don't know what kind of guns they had for them, but it was so many guns, and when I looked up, Pete, it seemed like I couldn't see nothing but bullets coming at me, but wasn't no guns, wasn't no shots fired.
You already saw.
You know,
you knew what was like, next.
Yeah, I already saw it, you know. So I said, well, Lord, I said, hey, you know, I'm sorry, and if this is what it is, you know, so be it.
So,
you know? But then I heard him say,
no, I was just gonna say, and you just happened to be there. You weren't stealing anything. You just caught up in somebody else's problem.
Wait, whoa.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I cannot be that guy to say that. No. Okay, continue. I'm gonna be me because I got to keep it 100 and hell to the no.
Yeah, go ahead. You got
so continue on with the story. We go. No judgment. Continue. No judgment. Continue, sir.
Okay.
So if I'm correct, you was at the point where they were pulling you over and you had saw your life go. You see all these bullets flying, but none actually coming. All right, from there, continue, sir.
See how this take place, but it never really happened. A really big eye opener for me, you know. And once I dropped the keys out the window, he told me to take my right hand and open the door and get out the car and back toward them. So I did that, and Soon as I got out the car and stood up, Brother Peter, say, they flooded me like a herd of buffalo. I'm talking about slam me on the car. I'm talking about, I tell them, man, you ain't got to do me like that. And they just hollered, shut up, shut up. You know, I said, yeah, you're right, officer. I said, shut up. Don't shoot, don't shoot. I said,
To be honest.
yeah. And once they did get me and lock me up, you know, I finally got a hold to my mother, and she was telling me, she said, what are you doing? She said, you lost your mind? She said, don't you know these laws around here will shoot you down to the ground? I said, yes, ma'am, I know. She said, so what are you doing? I said, I don't know, Mom. I guess I was just trying to be helpful and got caught up. She said, well, now you caught up,
Bruh.
you
Bro,
know,
you was
but
bro, you was
she
fucking
said,
high. Fuck
God's
that. Look. You look, to be
yeah,
honest with you, you was caught in the system. You was fucking high as fuck, and you had a I ain't give a fuck
yeah,
mindset
I was.
going around. There's no care.
Exactly.
Look,
So what would you,
Exactly.
what was your
yeah.
sentence? What were you sentenced for?
I was sentenced for robbery by conversation.
What?
By conversation.
Yes, robbery by conversation. But now note this. I went down for that. And when I got down for that and they got me stationed or stable where I was going to be, I immediately headed to the law library because it didn't even sound like a charge to me. I mean, you know, you can hear some things that laws charge you with is sufficient, and then you can hear some things that's not even part of what's going on. And this was the case on this case the first time that I went down. It was they charged me with a robbery by conversation because they couldn't find a weapon, but then they got the statement that the dude said, you know, I threatened him, you know, but no evidence of weapon found. So his statement without the evidence of a weapon is just like, you know, his word against mine. Okay.
You got a sentence of how long?
I got a sentence of 10 years, Pete. And on the 10 years, I was required to do at least 2.5, you know, and good baby, I probably would have got out within a year and a half. But I got in a couple of altercations that, you know, drugged me over longer than I was supposed to be in there the first time. You know, I had a little altercation with a fella down there, and we got locked up or whatever, you know, inside of being locked up, you know. And yeah, I was in the hole on that for probably like 2 weeks with lost privileges and everything like that. And during this period of time, it wasn't really any individuals that I was incarcerated with that I was having issues with, Pete. It was just the staff. It was the staff, you know. And
Okay.
I understand my rules and regulations that I have to abide by when I'm in a situation like that. But you have kids that's, you know, doing these security jobs or staff jobs as far as being inside the penitentiary and doing this and doing that, and they come in there with the street mentality and being disrespectful to everybody that's being locked up, incarcerated because you're behind bars. And I try to explain to the security guard there. I said, well, say, you know, so I said, hey, I don't have a problem at all with complying with what you asked me, you know, but don't get disrespectful with me and asking me to do nothing just because you got your uniform on. I say, I got kids about your age. So don't disrespect me in that manner, because if you do, then I'm going to be having all kind of problems with your people because you disrespecting me in a way that you shouldn't be doing because of your authority. But
So
anyway,
You did how long altogether? How long did you do?
I done the total of a year and 2 months, and upon getting out of that, I did go back, like I say, to 10 months later, and it was just chaotic. And the last incident that sent me back on the second trip, which made me do the 15 years, is because again I was the same issue, running, you know, and
So
it was just
all together, you did a year and a half, 15. All together, you spent 18 years of your life locked up.
I spent the year and 2 months. I back though went back 10 months and done 15 flats, so a total of 16 and a half years.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. So what was the 15 flat for? May I ask?
The 15 flat was my last case that I got. It was a drug case as well.
Okay. Aside from what were you what was the charges to get you 15 years? May I ask?
So the guy the 15 years was uh uh intent to deliver
Okay.
with drugs. Yeah,
Okay. And I'm
yeah.
assuming they
That was the
tacked
second.
on. I'm pretty sure they
They
put on
enhanced it from my previous.
from your other charges plus your parole violation. I'm
Right, right.
assuming. So
And
you had to
and
do.
They did their theoretical math on his life, basically,
uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
turned two offenses into enough to
Into one big one in order to carry the more time on it.
right.
And that's
So
that's what they do.
I
all
trust
right.
your representation.
So
Talk about your lawyer. I'm sure he was the most expensive one it was, or you had to take.
um I think um I think what we need to turn to more is to the change. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna say it how it is. So what we had was a young nigga out here wilding and shit. What
Wow.
was the change? Wilding. Yeah, you know you were. So what was the change? This is what we get into the better way. What was the change to make you that upstanding brother we have in front of us today? Truly, what is it? Truly, deeply, you got your head away at the last one.
Truly deeply.
Man, madly. So what makes that? So
Well,
what was the change? What turned that wild nigga off? What what
well,
brought you
that
to
but the turnaround for me was was actually after my first trip down. My brother had made me a tape. This was before I went down the first time, and just a quick little old run. I had him hold some money, and told him don't give it to me no matter what. And anyway, long story short, I went back to him to get the money, and he didn't want to give it to me, and then turned around, threatened him to, you know. So he gave it to me, and I went on by my business. And when I come, because I was waiting to be picked up anyway, they were gonna get me sooner or later. So I went back to the house, and my brother had made a tape for me there, Dwayne, and he put a note on the jukebox, the little box with two speakers and the tape player on. And he left me a note. He said, "Hey, bruh," he said, "I don't know what's going on with you." He said, who done pissed you off or whatever." He said, "But you need to slow down, bro." He said, "Cause I know you doing what you doing as far as the crack." He said, "You need to leave that stuff alone, bro." He said, "Cause when you told me that last time, if I didn't give you that money, I was gonna do something to him." He said, I saw it in your eyes, bro, that you were gonna do something to me. He said, and he said, and I don't like the brother that I see. He said, I want my old brother back, you know. And that was that was my change. That was my change. Because I didn't realize that my baby brother was watching me like he was watching me. Here it is. I'm going down all these different paths, you know, involved with all this crap that I shouldn't be involved with. And I didn't want him going down that same path, you know. But that was my change right there for the better right there. I mean, I still had my little faults in coming out of that change, but yeah, God is good, and I'm far more
That's the
well off now than I ever was.
that was the one that
That
stuck
was my
with you. If that was the one that stuck with you through the fight. To
right.
I mean, it's a monster. I don't have any personal experience, but I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? People I know and people I care
Yeah,
about. So I know that, but that had to be that was your linchpin. You know what I'm saying? And that was to help you through the fight. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
okay, cool. Yeah, your brother left you a mess. That's I got a brother I love that we just can't see eye to eye with. You know, I'm the younger brother, but I feel it, man. You know, I feel it because
Yeah,
oh man, if he did anything, I could. Everything he say and everything he do sticks with me like, you know what I'm saying,
yeah,
sticks to me like glue. So I definitely get it.
yeah.
So so then you get so all right, so you go down this first time and well I don't even the first time I can't really say. Let's go to this robbery by conversation. Who
Uh
was
huh.
your lawyer? Who was your lawyer? Because it could not have been Johnny Cochran. That's all I
No.
know.
Oh,
Please tell
the
us about this.
only lawyer I had available for me was the court appointed lawyer.
The court
You know.
appointed lawyer.
Yeah, that's just like I'm fighting two people in I mean fighting the same person in two different positions. You know. So
Is that what?
I mean
Tell me about that. Tell me about how. Please, you know what? Tell us about how this proceeding went, where somebody told the judge that it was theft by conversation, and and you end up getting any time at all. Please let me hear this because I got to.
Yeah, define robbery by conversation. You know, a couple
I
guys sitting there talking about
it,
robbery and that's a crime. I mean,
I don't. I
I
don't want your.
really go ahead.
Go ahead. How did they explain it to you?
It wasn't an explanation at all about that case.
they
It
couldn't.
wasn't an explanation at all. It wasn't nothing to explain about it because it wasn't even a case at the time. It was just something they made up because they didn't have anything on. You see what I'm saying? Outside of the threat and the high speed chase.
What they do, they come at you with 100
Okay.
basically and say, but you can plead to this, just plead
Okay,
guilty.
yeah, exactly. You're right. You're right. Did they give you a
So
plea? Was this a plea, sir?
if you go to
Yeah, it
trial,
what they the 20 aggravated they came to me with it as a plea. And
That was
I
a
said, no,
plea.
I haven't done anything. I said, I haven't done anything aggravated, so I'm not accepting no aggravated time for nothing. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. When they came at me with the 20 egg and I declined that, you know, and it was like 2 or 3 days later they came back with me and the lawyer that I had, I don't remember the dude's name or nothing.
Don't matter.
But
Don't
anyway,
matter.
he come back and he say, well, they're willing to drop the aggravated if you a plea for 25 years. I'm like, and then at the time I really didn't know nothing about the law, you see.
But
So
did you say no to
I
that
was
as
in,
well?
years old, 21 years old,
yeah,
man.
Wait. So let me ask you something. Did you say no to that as well?
no,
Because
I actually
this
didn't, Dwayne, cause not knowing much about what I was in or anything, I I took the non-act. So it was like a violation of my parole.
Yeah, once you take the deal, then they throw all that other stuff in there. I got you.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
timeline's off. I
Once
guess.
you once you take a plea, once you take the plea and you sign for that, once your paperwork leave that courtroom, you don't know what else they putting on your paper. You see what I'm saying? And
Oh yeah, for
I've
sure.
noticed and talked to quite a few guys that was incarcerated that was saying that there was other things written in their report that wasn't even a part of their report that they used to hook them. You know what I mean? But
Essentially,
yeah.
they want you to take 20 years, okay? Now, in the DA's office, they got their quotas. They want you to take a certain amount of years. And so they get you something that you'll agree on. But robbery by conversation was not going to give them the 20 something years. So what they did is he takes it. Then they go back and do their math to put enough things in there to justify. And when you turn around and say, hey, what the hell? Well, you agreed to this. No,
Yeah.
it's written
Right,
down.
right.
It's a matter of court record. The judge agreed to it, taking away
right.
your recourse. And if you take a plea, you have given up your right to appeal.
That's right.
So this is why 47% of poor people are locked up in prison because of all these misrepresentations for which they cannot appeal. When they learn better,
Right.
say, hey,
right.
That was
It's
wrong.
too late.
Too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too late. And that's basically what happened to me on that case. You know, because I didn't know nothing, Pete. When I started getting in trouble, I didn't know nothing from nothing. And all I was told, well, go ahead.
Well, no, what they're gonna do, you got 15 years for not knowing, basically.
Right.
And not having reasonable representation when you went into court. And
well,
your lawyer and the DA get behind the scenes and negotiate things, and his job is to come out to get you to take it.
To persuade me to take what they want.
And all the paperwork and everything like that, that's going to say you agreed to it.
Well, look, gentlemen, we
Brother Wayne, you're gonna have to come back on the show because we can't get it all in just an hour.
Let me ask you something. So this is the real question, because it's not necessarily it's the incarcerating the man part that's really messing with me, because I know that shit's wrong. And can I ask, is there any rehabilitation in there? Is this shit helping, or is it creating a cycle that we've heard through the whispers that, you know, once you get in this pipeline, is it really set up that way? Or is there some fucking rehabilitation in prisons? Or is it just a goddamn way to do slavery? Shit, let's ask the question.
I kind of, being comical though, I kind of feel that's their way of doing slavery, but
no, it ain't fucking comical. That shit happening.
It's not funny.
It's not funny.
That's it. Mass incarceration started the day after the slaves got free.
What, bro? We want, sir, your take on it. Yeah, that's we ask. Is it worth it, or is it just goddamn slavery?
That's what I'm saying. That's all you can do is make the best of it, because it ain't worth a crap.
So
it ain't worth a crap.
But let me ask you something.
It's like you just on an island on your own, wait for somebody to pull your number to send you on your way.
Now, with that being said, please, Baba, continue. The day after they freed the slaves, what happened?
Mass incarceration.
Mass incarceration.
Mass incarceration.
Mass incarceration of who?
Black.
Slaves, former slaves.
Slave. Former slaves.
They were handing out 10-year sentences for somebody hungry stealing a piece of bread.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I
talk
think they
to
still.
a white
I think
person
they
the
still
wrong way,
hanging out there. I
10
think they
years.
still handing out 10 years for stealing when you hungry. I think that still
Yeah,
exists for black people to this
they
day,
still
actually.
exist. I'm almost positive that still exists.
You ain't almost positive you know it exists.
Yeah,
Then it probably happened to somebody you
it's
know.
the truth.
So
Yeah.
continue.
Well, when you start building private prisons who have to, they have to have those beds filled because whatever beds aren't filled, the law reads that they have to, the government has to reimburse for unfilled beds. It's a
Right,
terrible,
right.
and it's all about rich and poor. We're gonna get down to that, rich and poor. The golden rule
See,
is
that's what's the
he makes the rules, and
yeah,
we, whatever sector of the population that is most vulnerable and most weak will be exploited. That's the whole goal,
yeah,
the whole byline to our economic system. If you're weak, take advantage of them. And this has been going on since the dawn of time, where
right.
someone has been taking advantage of those people that have no voice. People who
Right.
have no voice, have no say so, have no power, they're going to be taken advantage of. And the way it works, they work together. The rich,
Yeah,
they work together to exploit you, who they've got divided,
yeah.
and you cannot come out as a single block. So here we go. This is what I'm saying. You, having committed any offense, they already had your number checked down at the state pen.
Yeah.
Because what they need is people to commit offenses. I said, don't worry about that. You get him to commit an offense, we'll fix it up where he has to do the time.
Yeah. What happened?
He's showing an article on screen that says private prison sues state for not having enough prisoners.
Oh wow, ain't that something?
So
Private prison sues state for not having enough prisons. That's crazy.
That was in
we are just
2020.
What?
we're just getting
Yeah.
into the gist of our conversation, really. There's so much more that we haven't even gotten around to
Oh,
even
that's a lot.
asking you today. Now we're going to get to the point where you had a transformation within yourself. You awoke to your creator, and you got on this better way. We're going to get to that. But
Okay.
to point out to people who are looking at this program and they are believing these stories about our young black men in prison, and they really believe we got that because we deserved it. But that's not the case. There's no way a man should, for even if it was evading arrest, you didn't steal anything,
Right.
you didn't have a weapon. The best they could get you for, the minimum they could get you for is a robbery by conversation. In other words, you were with someone else that robbed, which they
Right.
couldn't prove that. They didn't bring any charge to anybody
Right.
else about a
Right.
robbery, and you're doing time. But what they did is, when you agreed to it, then they fixed it up so that the crime met the length of
The
time.
criteria to give me the time that they wanted to give.
Exactly. And then you take a plea, you can't appeal it. You can't even go back and appeal. And the whole justice system would come to its knees if we stop taking pleas and start going to
Right.
trial. It would
Right.
just shut the whole system down.
Right.
So
Because see, they
what
don't
you
expect us
have,
to go to trial anyway because they feel we don't have the funds to take it to trial. That's why they do what they do.
exactly, poor exploitation of poor people, because rich people think that you should be in there anyway, working
Right.
for them.
Right.
This people with money, they don't have the problems legally that we have. And they do some horrific stuff, and a federal judge will give them 60 days. You've got
Yeah.
people who 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 have committed treason, okay? Committed treason, which is a can be a capital crime,
Uh-huh.
punishable by death, getting 30 days, 60 days, things like that. So it's an unfair system to people who, let me put it in perspective, unfair system to poor people that happen to be black, because
Yeah.
our poverty lines are so low.
Yeah.
If we're going to do anything, if our relationship with our creator, once we get ourselves together, because that's your first priority, is to get you together, and whatever period of time it takes you to get yourself trustworthy to your creator. In other words, he can count on you to uh, be loving and caring and empathetic to other people. Your job is to try to get other people in a better place too.
Right.
We're not going to stop a lot of things about the injustices in the world, but
Uh-huh.
we can help one person at a time, and that's my philosophy. Get yourself
Mine
together.
too.
Get yourself where you can trust you. Get yourself where when the chips are down, you're going to do the right thing every time.
Gonna
When
come
you get
through.
that
Yeah.
in yourself, then it becomes a spiritual priority for you to help at least one person get to
Right.
that trustworthy place. And I think that's what we're trying to get at in this program. We have to look at all the other factors until we get to that point
Right.
when we start talking
Right.
about it.
Right.
But there's a whole lot more questions about the system as it relates to Wayne Connor, brother Dwayne Connor, uh,
Uh-huh.
that I would like to ask on this. So I would like to invite you to continue this series with us. We need to start talking about these things. And having gone through the jail experience a couple times myself, I can tell you exactly what happened. You know, uh,
Yeah.
you know, you say, yeah, I agree, then they get scandalous on you.
Yeah. They. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
They got you where they want you.
Yeah, the best thing to do. Nope, I
Jimmy,
ain't. And that's take me to jury if you want to. I'll plead my case to the
Yeah.
jury. Several. Yeah, man, I want Wayne on here every time we meet, actually.
Yeah.
So
Man.
uh
yeah,
I.
but
Hey. Yeah. I
we can
enjoy
do the
this right here. I enjoy this, man.
to be honest with you, that system, we didn't even scratch the surface on how bad that system is. You know what I mean?
No, we didn't. We didn't.
And we got to
And
go
here
there
I'm.
because
I'm
that's
kind of
that.
half
The,
excited.
yeah, that's where the truth lies, and that's where we're going to be able to help people for them to know what's going on in that system and how to stay up out of it or
Yeah.
how to fight your way out of it if you're in it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
and we didn't, like I said, we didn't scratch the surface on that, and that's where I want to go. So that I definitely want to get another time slot. You know what I'm saying? So we can focus on
Yeah.
that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Well,
don't get me wrong,
great.
you're almost
Yep.
welcome to the open forum. Of course, we have the open. Of course, we have those other ones that's not specific that you're more than welcome to come to on Sundays. Of course, you know what I'm saying, without a doubt.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, but that won't be specifically on that. That would be on the other things we got, trying to help people in the world. You know what I mean?
trying to help
Right,
people
right.
think
I'm
for
down for all that.
themselves. That's the goal. To
Yeah,
get people
yeah,
to think for
yeah.
themselves and not be led about, like a horse with reins, and not to be trained
Yeah.
dogs and seals, and get
Right.
people to think for themselves, and open up this door to say it's okay to ask questions, and it's definitely okay
Yeah.
not to agree. So my son,
Right.
my son is really, really, you know, this whole process, he lit a flame under me. Now, I always felt that way about certain things, but I would never talk openly about such things. Well, he pulled me right out of that shell.
Right. That's why I was
You
on
just
about to say that. I mean, this is
you're
an
regular Samuel
opportunity
Jackson, man.
of
Only black.
expression, expression and healing, man. Expression and healing. That's what this is good for. I
Yeah.
love it, man.
Hey.
I'm all down.
Yeah.
You know.
Now we getting now we're getting now we're getting juicy. This is where I want to be at. You know what I'm saying? When we get now we've settled down. Now we ready. You know what I'm saying? Now we can.
Yeah,
We can
that's
get
what I was
into
thinking
the.
to say a while ago. I was a little excited about being on the show, so I'm coming from all angles trying to hit everything, But
Yeah.
hey, it's all good. We gonna get
Yeah.
it.
Slow it
Yeah,
down.
but
Like I said, we
I
got
would be delighted, man.
very patient people.
Yeah,
So
well, I'm glad that you
Yeah,
met my son, and I'm glad that my son met you, Brother Wayne.
yeah,
Uh,
that's a great pleasure, man. That's a great pleasure. Say
hey,
who would have
the
even
pleasure
thought?
is all mine.
Uh,
See, I met Wayne just
three
as he was
Dwayne,
coming
huh?
out.
Mm.
Just as he was coming out,
Three Dwayne,
I
huh?
met him, and
Three, yeah,
Yeah,
3Ds.
and he'll tell you, I opened up my pulpit to him, and recognize him as one that's come through the process uh, too. And this has been a forum for my son to express himself like he needs to, because he's had a lot of stuff bothering
yeah,
him. He finally, and he's
yeah,
calming down in life a little bit now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.